This is the bass part to open score 3. It's from Mendelsohn's Elijah. First I'll play through it, and then we can talk about some approaches. 1, 2. Now, obviously, this piece wasn't written for the piano, so it's not going to feel exactly as comfortable as a piece might be that was written for a piano. It's not taking into account comfortable shapes of the instrument. This is a piece that was originally for choir, and we're playing the bass part today, so these are notes that a bass singer can hit, but clearly not organized in any way that's necessarily idiomatic to the piano. So it's up to us, it's up to the performer to find ways to make it work. And there's a lot of ways to do it. There are many ways that you could try playing this, and there are many approaches to fingering that would get you a good result. I'll show you some examples. I'll show you some ways that I would try doing it. From the beginning, one of the things I like to look at when I'm figuring out where to start, other than the obvious, it's a bass clef. We've got 3 flats, it's key of E flat, and 4/4 time signature. Is I like to look at the highest and lowest note for the next few bars, for the next little bit. If we look ahead, our highest note for quite a while is the G, and our lowest note for quite a while is an A flat, and then a little bit later there's a low G. So since this G is going to be our highest note, notice how it's comfortable to start on 3rd finger on E flat. That gets you set up, actually starting in the same finger that you would use if you were playing an E flat scale. So if we start from there, you can stretch down to 5, then you'll have to reset. Next note is B flat, next finger is 4, and now we're in kind of roughly in an A flat hand position. Now we're back to our E flat, but again, notice really quickly we're going to have to reach up to G. It's not going to make sense to cross over because we're going to have to cross back immediately. First of all, we're on a fermata, so that's going to be a great place to change fingers. So during the fermata, you can get yourself set up so that you can reach the high G and the low G. The best way to do that is with the 2nd finger. After the fermatas, you might have noticed earlier when I played the piece all the way through that I took short breaks after the fermata, since you would be playing this for a choir and introducing a choir to their notes. Leaving a break there gives them an opportunity to breathe. So if I'm holding on to the E flat with the fermata, lift up, and if I started on 1, during that I can switch to 2. next section, again, the G is still kind of the highest note, so we can start from thumb on G. And with those first 5 notes, that sets us up in a C minor 5-finger pattern. I'm going to start again from the beginning of that phrase, which is the G after the fermata. Again, your fermata is a good place to reset. Look ahead. You're going to have to reach a low G very soon, since that's the lowest note, 5th finger. You have a C, and right after you're going to have A flats and B flats. You want to be able to catch all of those underneath your hand, so 2 on C, right after the fermata. Your thumb is closest for the E flat. And once again, the fermata is a really great time to do a finger substitution. You're going to need to reach up higher. There's a few different choices here. Let's try 2. Black key to white key, left hand descending, always a great place to cross. That gets you all the way to the fermata. And with any of these phrases, your goal is to make it to the fermata. Let's try that again. Now when you were on the E flat, this is back at measure 8. You might have tried with thumb. So we tried this short phrase with the 2nd finger, but let's try it with the thumb. I think you'll find that can work as well. Now if I play both of the Fs with the 4th finger, you'd have to do a bit of a stretch, but you can manage it to get to the C. However, there's another cool trick you can do, which is that when you've got repeated notes, now it might seem like repeated notes would be a place to just keep the same finger, but it actually turns out in the piano that a repeated note is a really good place to change fingers. So the first one you'd play with a finger, and then the next one you'd play with a different finger. And much like the fermata or a long note, it's a way to shift. It's a way to get around the instrument. So if I started from that B flat again, replace, and down to C. So either of those options, or any of those options, can work. If I look ahead to the next fermata, remember our goal is to get to the fermata. Our lowest note from this phrase is the low B flat. So if I'm on the previous fermata and I'm looking to get to that low B flat, what that tells me is that I need to have 4th finger on C. That way I can reach the C, I can go up the next few notes in the scale, and I can make it all the way down to the B flat. That's a B flat 5-finger pattern. So let's start after the fermata, after the C fermata, right near the crescendo, starting on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of ways to play this next phrase. I think let's try from 2 on D. That will allow us to get the A flat 5-finger pattern. Our highest note is E flat. Our lowest note is A flat. All the other notes are in the middle. Now there's going to be originally a D natural, and then later a D flat. The index finger can handle both. So if we start from the D by the diminuendo, 2, 3. Now, that that gets us all the way to the next fermata. Now, during that fermata, we're probably going to have to do a finger substitution to reach the low G. Otherwise, if you want to catch that even sooner, you could use the repeated notes. Replace with 4. And that sets you up for the rest of the piece. And the next shape is pretty comfortable. There's a G, an A flat, a B flat, a C, and an E flat. Those all fit pretty nicely under your hand. So we'll start from the last phrase, from the G. I'm going to play through the piece slowly and then a little bit more up to tempo. 1 and 2 and. Ready, and. Ready, and. Ready, and 3, and 2, and. Ready, and. Ready, and. Ready, and. Ready, and. And then again a little faster. 1, 2. Ready, and.